You're okay. Handsome guy. Hi, big boy. He's still got some velvet on. What you doing, buddy?
Always looking. I've never been this close to a deer before. He's eating my fingers. He's chewing on me. Hey, dude. Dude. That is, oh my gosh, that's so cool. You're so cool. His nose is fine.
Well, yeah.
Hey there, buddy. Look at him with his tongue.
Mm-hmm.
That's a prairie dog.
There's two of them. They're facing off with each other.
Barking.
How's it going? He says you didn't drop me any food, so I'm going to move on. Hi, pretty lady.
Good night. You scared me. Stinks. Diesel. Is it diesel? No?
Propane.
Propane.
Okay, so we're still here at Magnolia Gardens, just outside of Charleston, South Carolina. We're about to look at 4 authentic slave homes, but some amazing history that we were just presented and shown, charts and things that reveal a great deal of truth about slavery in the United States that we just were not taught in school, and we're not even taught even half truth. Mercy. He said that at least a third of the brick and the wood and stuff on these houses are still original. And these are 4 out of 11 that were constructed back in 1850. Others had rotted or been taken by hurricanes, and these were the 4 that remained out of the 11. I'm going to go into the other side. These were double occupancy dwellings. In other words, either a family to each side, or if they were single individuals, women on one side, men on the other. And they said that they had a garden out back of the cabins here. This is the first cabin, he said, that was built, and this is from the era of 1850. There, they would use that to break the husk off of the rice, because they'd have to ship it out as white rice instead of brown rice, because brown rice absorbs moisture really, really bad. And so they couldn't ship brown rice, otherwise for the time they would send, it would spend in the hull of the ships. By the time they would reach their destination, they were just moldy mush. So this is the Ashley River, and they would have taken steamboats up and down this river. That's how they would have traveled back in the day. Yes, we're out here at Magnolia Plantation and Gardens again today.
Again.
Yes, it is just... Natalie, what is your take on this place?
I don't know, like it's such a... One is beautiful. I think the thing that is so neat about it is that, like, as you're walking through here, you're thinking like American history.
Yeah. Like
began here, not like, hey, this is part of American history, but like this is where it all started.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, this place was in existence from
It says 1676, so it's 100 years before
America even became a nation.
Yeah.
So this property was began and is still owned by the same family. 12 generations, isn't it?
Yeah, 12 generations down. And they said, and something else that we learned, I don't know if you told them yesterday,
no,
was
I didn't.
that two of the people that are still employed here on the plantation are the great-great-grandsons of the last slave that lived in the slave homes.
And he was married 3 times. And the last time that he was married, he married a woman who already had 7 children. But prior to that, he had
25 total.
25 total. And the last woman that he married, his 2 first wives both passed away in the same slave house that they were residing in. And then his 3rd wife he married, she already had 7 children, so that gave him a total of 25 children altogether. Well, 2 of his great-great-grandsons
are still employed here.
On the property
and help take care of the gardens.
Which, after the war, they told us yesterday and showed us the information that after the Civil War was over, they had options. Slaves had options to leave and go north with the Union, do whatever. But there was a great amount of them that chose to remain
20
in the South. Well, on this property.
On this property, yeah.
On this property. But in the South, there were several that chose to remain in the South. Back over this way somewhere is the plantation house, the 3rd one that was built on the property. The one that is standing now is one that was built right after the Civil War, because Union soldiers came up and down the banks of the Ashley River and were set fire to all the plantation homes and their fields and everything in an attempt to keep the South from ever coming back into prominence or making it again, and including also raiding all of the treasuries of the South. I don't know if these were original steps, a walkway, because they don't want you to get off of this path and venture down here, and we just kind of wonder if this wasn't a path that came down to the river for people who lived here on the plantation. Kind of cool. Natalie looks at that and the original parts that we've seen so far, and she just imagines children running around and playing and jumping in the river and things like that. It's really cool. This is a cool walkway. This is a main walkway. I wonder if this goes up to the front of the house, because the plantations back in the day, they didn't have, a lot of roads and things like that. They traveled by horseback through the woods and in trails, but their main type of transportation were steamboats and paddle boats that would come up and down. And what I mean by paddle boats is it would only hold a few people. They would use oars or paddles to go up and down the river, and steamboats would come up and down the river and take them into Charleston and other areas. So their houses, kind of like if you live in town, your house faces the street. Well, their house, the plantation homes and other houses up and down the river, would face the river. So there's the path that I thought might go up to the front of the house. It's right there. But right here, Natalie called to me and pointed out, right there is the front of the house. Oh man. Just so weird. But just 2 days at this place, and there's just something extraordinarily special about this place. Truly. So from the house facing down here to the river, they would have came down here, right in here somewhere. They would have boarded a steamboat or some type of vessel that would take them up and down the Ashley River. Okay, so I saw this in the distance from over their walking trail going to the house. And I don't know if I'm supposed to actually walk up to this or not, but it just looks like an old decorative statue. So this is the original foundation of the house. You see the brick under there. And there. From this spot 150 years ago, this picture was taken of the wife and daughters of the Reverend John Drayton. While those who care for it come and go over its 300 years of wars and hurricanes, the ever-changing garden of Magnolia Plantation seems never really to change. Here's another brick pathway goes down to the water. Very, very interesting. Man, amazing.
Years ago. It says this photo shows the interior of the tomb when recently opened for inspection. Since construction by the plantation's first owner 3 centuries ago, it has been the resting place of almost all of Magnolia Plantation's owners and the members of their families. Probably a score in numbers. Of the many coffins placed in here, only 2 now remain. The others, apparently made of wood, along with their contents, have been reduced by the centuries to bone and rubble. Wow. The 2 remaining coffins are those of the very first and last family members to have been entered. Wow, that is so cool.
Wow, no kidding. I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Looked at this other little black snake here, and this literally just fell out of the tree from right up here and fell right in front of us, right here. What in the world? Snakes are falling from the trees here.
Go on, buddy.
There he goes. Y'all look at this. This is an amazing thing here. This tree grew right up through this bridge right here. Did you see? That tree grew up through that. It's so perfect. They just cut a hole in it and the tree grew right through it. I'm totally kidding. They built this around that tree, which is awesome. It looks really cool.
There's mosquitoes like crazy out here.
It's a swamp. That's where they live.
Can you take my picture
for the most part? Yeah, what part of the bridge do you want me to stand on to take your picture? You said, will you take my picture on the bridge?
Take a picture of me on the bridge.
Oh, gotcha, okay.